Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today we have a special guest.
Derrick Muhammad.
Hey, welcome to the show, my friend.
Finally nice to be on your show. You know, we've been talking probably a couple years, I would say, huh? And
Yeah, I'm
and
so glad.
yeah, and here we are.
And
So
here we are.
I'm
Awesome. I mean, I don't know where to begin. You're so uber talented. You're just a go-getter, like someone who gets it done. Like you're just a person that is like you say what you're gonna do and you do it. You execute. And I looked at your bio. You're from Ohio, to be exact. Is that where you're from?
from Planet Youngstown, Ohio. Yeah, that's right.
How does a
Right.
I'm so curious because I'm how does someone from Ohio come from Ohio, a kid with a big dream? Like, tell me a little bit about your childhood and how that was. And
Oh man, it's funny that you say that because in Ohio, it was a steel mill town. Mafia town. It's known to be a mafia. It's a tough town. It's a gritty town. People who from Youngstown and people from outside of Youngstown know Youngstown is not a place to go unless you got a passport.
oh wow,
You got to know somebody, right? So coming up in that environment, it makes you tough. I call it Steel Valley tough. It's a mental toughness, and by me, I'm the only oldest boy. I didn't have no big brothers. You know what I mean? My uncle's a little older than me, but they lived on the other side of town. So I had to establish myself on my side of town. So luckily I had a friend who I grew up with. He had older brothers that was thugs. So they used to have us in the backyard, bare knuckle boxing when we were like 5 and 6 years old,
wow.
busting each other noses. So, but that got you ready for what you had to venture out on. So it's like Spartan school. But one of the things for me is I always had a vivid imagination. I did have a speech impediment coming up where I had this voice I had the grown man voice at a little boy body. So, because my vocal cords was big. So I used to have to go to speech class. I couldn't pronounce my words. So that was another people pick on you. So it was a lot of little scraps in there. But make a long story short, my parents, they didn't ever like really deter me from doing anything I wanted to do, long as it was not, bad.
Right.
So, but I had a vivid imagination and I always would like watch TV and I would go and reenact that in my own world walking around the house. So I don't know if I had autism or Asperger's or whatever, but they just said he got his own. My sister used to be like, he got his own friend. He only took him to his imaginary friend. And I look at him and I'm like, it's friends.
I love it.
But I didn't do no plays and nothing like that. I played sports coming up because that wasn't considered cool. And I
Okay.
always wanted to do film and get into the acting and stuff like that. And I didn't do anything until I was like 34 years old with a family,
Wow.
and a mortgage and a job, a 9 to 5. And the thing is, I was watching Bout It by Master P on VHS. And I found out that he made like 40 million or 20 million dollars off of that video. And I got jealous. I was like, that movie sucked. What? So I said to myself, because I always wanted to go to film school, but life happened. I didn't go. So when I got out the Navy, because I was in the Navy, shout out to USS Missouri, BB-63. I'm a plane owner off the great battleship.
Awesome.
And so I wanted to go, but I didn't, and life happened. So when I saw the movie, I just put this mindset where I'm gonna figure it out. So I went to the library where I got a book. I had a friend had a camcorder, one of the first camcorders ever invented with a VHS, and I bought a $6.95 a VHS tape.
Yeah.
And I wrote a script in like a day. This is how crazy it is. I wrote a script in a day called Atonement by the guy getting out of prison who was a dope boy, and he got out. He's trying to atone because he saw the Million Man March. He's trying to make his life right. So he goes around and there's a bunch of other stuff. The movie was horrible, right? But it was my baby. It didn't make no sense. It was a short film, and I had that mitigated gall to sell it out the trunk of my car for $10, and I made $2,000 off a $6 movie.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So from pen to distribution, and that's how I've been thinking. Didn't do nothing else until a few years ago when I did my first feature, Gale in the Storm. So.
Now, would you say throughout your life that that bug, that longing for film and the love for film never actually went away? It was always there, even if life happened.
I would say so, because I will always had this burning desire that one day I'm gonna make movies. I remember in high school when Spike Lee came out, and he had Spike Lee joint, written, produced, directed by Spike Lee, and I would write on my pad, written, produced, directed by Derrick Muhammad, and I had my name of my production company, what it was gonna be, and I just wrote that, and my buddies still remind me of that. I remember you was doing that, they would call me by my nickname, and they were like, hey. I remember you was doing that, man, and now look at you. I was like, yeah, that's right, So, and the thing about it is that passion, if you really meant to do it, it won't die. You'll figure it out. It might take you a minute, but you won't do it. And I had to get out of the thought that I was too old, because I had people close to me telling me, you too old. You in Ohio. You don't know nobody. Your time is came. That's for your kids' dream. You let the kids dream, and you just get a job and die, and whatever.
Wow.
And so what happened? Crazy thing is, I started doing stand-up comedy. I got a divorce. Then I had my own insurance agency, which that's how I got into the business side of it. And I had a fiance, and then we broke up, and I got a little depressed.
Oh no!
So I couldn't afford therapy. So I started doing stand-up comedy, and I went and I sucked horrible early. I failed off, and I've been booed. I remember I got booed off stage in Columbus, Ohio, at the Funny Bone. And the mistake I made, I had been on stage in a couple of weeks, so I got this guest spot. I'm going up there with my corny jokes, and they gave me the business. They booed me so cold.
No.
I was humiliated. Everybody booed me that was there. People I knew, people I didn't know, people I liked, people I didn't like. They all gave me the business. So I told myself that night, I'm coming back. I don't know when, because I got to let this wounds heal. Right. But I made a promise. I'm coming back. So I let everybody leave. And I said, I'm going to be the last man to leave. And I remember standing there, and this girl walked by, her and her husband, because I used to referee basketball. She says, maybe you should just stick to reffing. And I was like, oh, another blow to the nuts back, right?
Wow.
But her husband was like, no, F that. Derrick, if that's what you want to do it. Figure it out. Do it. I listened to him. I ain't listen to her. So it took me 6 months to get back up on stage. After that, I started going to little small open mics, and I got a book, the comedy. There you go with books again. I got a book, The Comedy Bible by Judy Carter, and I read that book. I developed my material, and I ended up growing into a point where I became one of the top comedians in that city in a short period of time. Producing my own shows. I had a monthly show where I would have a showcase comedians. I would host the show, and I always thought broad like that because I couldn't get booked. And then eventually, once I did that, and I started crossing over to white venues and then the black venues, because there's two different worlds. Right. And I was doing that with the greatest of ease, and the white guys was booking me, and I was winning contests. And the brothers was like, "How the hell you doing that? And your name Derrick Muhammad? Huh? My name Charlie Mudbone. Well, I can't get in there." I was like, "Cause I'm true to the game, baby. Don't hate the player, hate the game." So anyway. After that, I ended up, take a leap of faith and move to California.
Wow.
And, I moved to LA. I ended up taking some acting classes. My first month in LA, I booked a commercial.
Nice.
And I booked this commercial. It was a dental commercial. And they paid me enough money to take care of some things.
Wow.
And I was, at the time, 47 years old at the time.
Wow.
They gave me a 27-year-old wife and a 7-year-old son. She old enough to be my daughter. He old enough to be my grandson.
Right.
And we did the commercial, and I'm smiling. I always thank flossing for that because I floss daily.
That's right.
So I got the commercial. I started doing some acting courses. I ended up meeting my business partner, the Superwoman Karen White, the R&B singer and the legend. And I met her in class 9. And I Vanna Chubbuck training and pilots here and there, and me and her, was like, look, I'm tired of going out for these roles, and you book them, and they might not have a production. So we end up writing a script together because she had the brand, and we just wrote a script loosely based on her life. We shot it we shot the feature film called Gale and the Storm, Gale, Gale and the Storm. We shot it for a small budget, under 50, under 30. I ain't gonna go no further. People get mad at me. But if I really told you, you'd be mad too.
Right, I feel you.
We shot the film in 7 days, and I used 2 award-winning college students as the DPs. And I had a line producer and a PA, and I directed it.
Good to
and
go.
We had all our locations free because Jay King was a producer from Club Nouveau. He's Karen's manager at the time, and he set it up. We shot in Sacramento, and we got it popping. So it was you know, the stars aligned. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
the stars aligned. But I ain't gonna say it was a cakewalk. It's no cakewalk.
Absolutely, it's a process for sure.
You know, and with that, you know, it was a lot of times that I wanted to quit, Meosha. You know, like and if I quit, it would have been justifiable. I mean, point to the degree where you know, things are grim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I stayed in there because what happened is I had a vision of me. I had a vision of me doing some great things. I had a vision of me on stage in a sold-out football stadium.
Nice.
I also saw me getting awards at some particular award show from film, you know, and I just saw me doing great things. And I'm kind of, if you could see it in your mind's eye, it's achievable. But what price are you willing to pay? What are you willing to sacrifice, Derrick? Yeah. So, you know, I was willing to pay the price. And it ain't talking about no Illuminati blood sacrifice.
There's those people listening like,
right. I'm gonna nip that in the bud. We're not sacrificing no kids and goats. You know what I mean? None of that. It was a personal sacrifice, and I was willing to go through the hellfire to get there. So I'm standing in the ashes of the man I used to be, and I call it like that. I'm the phoenix. I rose from the ashes.
That's awesome. I love that. Would you say though, like you said, there were some really grim moments. How did you find your way out of that during those hardships, those times where you were like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do? Like, how did you find your way out of that? Did you have any mentors, anybody to talk to? Or?
It's a trip that you say that, because really I had an invisible thread of faith. I didn't even know it was there, but I knew I had to. And I also knew if I just make it through another day, you know, I believe what I saw in my mind's eye, that I can get to that destination, you know, and I was willing to do it. I wasn't willing to give up, you know, and I attribute that to having intestinal fortitude. Like my mother, when she was pregnant with me, she was homeless.
Oh, wow.
And we went, you know, she didn't know what she was going to do. She tried to get rid of me 3 times. It didn't work because I'm stubborn, right?
Yeah.
So I'm meant to be here. So when I hear, you know, so when she would tell me like, Derrick, you special, you know, God blessings on you. And I feel that all the time, regardless how grim it may be for me, I always felt the presence. And I had mental toughness where if I can make it through whatever situation and I see myself on the other side, I knew I can get there. And I just, you know, they had this saying that it was a guy who was doing the high hurdles and he was scared to go over the high hurdle, like high hurdle.
Yeah.
And high jump bar. So I can't do it, coach. I can't do it. And the coach said, look, throw your heart over there first and then your body will follow. And I just always threw my heart over first.
It's 8 o'clock.
I'm willing to do that. Now I got to the point of all this experience, all these, I failed a lot early, so I'm accustomed to reject. I'm accustomed to no. I'm accustomed to setback. But now that on me, I just take it. Like, you know, I call myself king of the unburnt. You know what I mean? King of the unburnt. I'm the tightrope walker, the dragon slayer, the alchemist, warrior of the light, the immortal colossal supreme. These are my superhero names.
I love it.
That's how I get down. And I don't want to say this for people listening like I'm bragging. It's not bragging. This is actually tried and true shit right here. And I tell anybody, you get whatever you want to do, you got to have a touch of madness, because in this world, they'll give you a million reasons that you can't do it.
Absolutely.
So if you can believe you can do it and you can see you doing it and you take action, because it ain't going to walk up to your door and tell you, come get this. Right. You got to go out in the street and slay some damn dragons.
You do.
And you ain't got to hurt nobody to do it.
Right.
You ain't got to lie. You can have integrity. You ain't got to steal nobody jokes, nobody script, nobody idea. You do it with integrity. Allow the universe to line up with you. There's not a goddamn thing you can't do.
Oh, yeah.
I just said there's not an idea in there's not a power in the heaven or the earth that can stop an idea when that time has come.
That's it. That's it. That's so real. That's, oh my God. Yeah, that's so true. Because, you know, you hear stories, you know, I've interviewed a lot of people, and, you know, we hear the great parts of their, you know, life, and the highlights of their life. And, but there's a bunch of people that are on this road of like, they're not sure what to do. And it's tough, you know, being that we're in a time with, you know, with COVID, and we're trying to get out of this mess, and we're so close to that. But, you know, a lot of people are not okay, you know. And then on top of that, their dreams and aspirations are like, they don't see it. So you're right. You have to have that tenacity to keep going, because it is one of those industries. It's like very competitive. You know, you're not the only one that's talented. There's a bunch of talented people.
Every day.
You know, so yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm curious, you know, what made you, like, as far as like film, and what kind of film? Because I knew I wanted a certain type of genre of film that I wanted to do. When you wanted to make this movie, this feature, was that something like, is that the genre you want to do, or you're kind of more like, you're open to any type of genre as a creator?
Well, it's funny you said that. No, that was not the genre. But
Okay.
as a businessman,
Yeah.
and as someone who I knew I had to align myself up with, who had the name and the brand, I had to use the genre that they would specialize in, which was
Gotcha.
music, funk, R&B. You know, her fan base. So I
Gotcha.
was willing to do that. You know, and now after having done that, now I feel that it's not a genre I really can't touch. I really like passion projects. You know,
Okay.
but I got a genre I'm called a spiritual thriller, which is like a rugged version of a faith-based movie with
Okay.
some language in it. You know what I mean? But that's a genre that I want to specialize in the psychological dramas and some humor. You know, I'm not really a comedy guy, even though I do stand up. I'm not doing no spoofs. It have to be a romantic comedy, or a comedy that makes sense with a meaning in that. My whole thing is I want to have films that are informative, they're fast paced, there's no boring stuff in it. They're humorous, and they're gonna have a message for you. You know, so those kind of projects, because I believe you can, you know, film. We have the responsibility as filmmakers to show you, storytell whatever is your passion,
Right.
but it can be abused. You know, I mean, a lot of times they use it in a negative light, where right now, even in the hip hop culture, they promoting misogynistic, drug addiction, gunfire, you know, all this negative behavior. So the youth hear it, and they get programmed to think, if I want to make it, I gotta be like that. And none of them rappers saying that really catching cases, or they would be in jail right now. Right. So that's a farce. So I want to say, okay, I can't come with no holier and thou stuff, but I got to come with, I can speak their language, and then show them in a storytelling event, you know, hey, this ain't the way. Let's try this way. Because there's plenty brothers can probably do cold, and they ain't got to sell cocaine.
Right. Right. I love that. No, that's true, because yeah, too many. I'm like, as a creator, I try not to, when it comes to, when it comes to telling our stories, try not to have it where it's the stereotypical types of stories where it's like, you know, they're in the ghetto, or like the slavery stories. I mean, there's so many more stories to tell that we've done, you know, like we're smart people, so let's show us in that type of light. So that I stay away from those slavery ones. I mean, I feel like, I said, you have a
You know,
responsibility.
I'm gonna tell you this: like, we don't need another slavery movie unless we killing everybody on the plantation.
Right.
That's it. I mean, point blank, man. If we ain't killing everybody, that's why I love Django. Okay, right. People like, he said the N word so many times. That's how they talk back then. They didn't say African American. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
They didn't say immigrant worker. You know what I'm saying? They called him the N word. But what I loved about Django is the ending. He killed all his enemies, them white folks, and blew up the master house and rode off into the sunset with his woman. You can't get no better story than that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You can't get it. So I have debates with that, but I'm sticking to the positive. Because I saw 12 Years a Slave. Whew, Lord.
That was tough.
This weak version of Harriet Tubman. The weakest version of Harriet Tubman ever. They need to ban that movie.
They do. I didn't like it.
Need to be banned. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the enemy of it was a black slave catcher.
Right. Yep.
And the white guy who wanted her captured killed him, and then she didn't even kill the dude who wanted her back as slave. Come miss me with that. Who wrote that script?
I don't know.
Probably an enemy of Spectra. An Asian of Spectra wrote that script.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly. I was like, and I think about it like, there's so many other stories to tell, like Black Wall Street. There's so many positive stories, like, The Banker.
Yes.
That was a fantastic one. Like, let's talk about us and
what was Hidden Figures? Hidden Figures
was great. Fantastic movie. But I don't know. I think we have a responsibility. So I try my best. I think so. It's good that you, as a creator, you felt like that is a responsibility to show us in the best light.
Well, if you have that in you, like I have so much in me, knowledge-wise, I would be a hypocrite if I didn't. Right. Now, if I'm just an idiot who got a camera, you're just an idiot with a camera. You're gonna tell idiot stories. You know what I mean? Right. But if you're a person who are well studied and have a certain philosophy on life and have a certain particular way you want to see your people. My mission is to show a positive Black folks around the world. Like I want to show the Black nuclear family. I want to get back to the Cosby Show where Claire and Cliff and the kids and their family, it might be put on steroids a little bit, but I want to show that because, right now they got this thing like toxic Black masculinity. Well, who made that term up? There has to be a white supremacist who made that term up because Black masculinity does not control the world right now. No. We can't prevent nobody from doing a deal, living anywhere. We can't get you off of a murder case. We don't have that power. So that right there is a psychological terminology used to suppress a certain class of people and also get other people against that person. You follow me?
Right. Absolutely.
And I found it to be unfair. It's unfair. Whoever made that slogan need to be flawed.
Do you think that's just because we're in the industry that we're in, that an industry that really wasn't really meant for us? So those are going to be those problems that we come against or face. So do you think it's is it best to kind of create our own productions, so we can control our own narrative, right? Do you think that is something that most
absolutely? The issue right now, we're so brilliant as Black people, African American people. This is not a reason why we don't have our own industry. It's not a reason why we don't control our own distribution, our own platforms. I mean, we feed the culture. Everybody eat off of us. I heard Terry Lewis from Jimmy Jam say, Jam and Lewis, he said, music sells everything except itself right now because they destroyed the music industry. But we feed the music industry. We created the music industry. We created the terms you hear on ESPN. You know what I mean? How they take our slang and they use it. You know what I mean? At one point, they never said cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a Black slogan. But that's okay because we're creative people. Even in our lowest state of energy, we're still operating on a high level of creativity. But we also have to get control of our intellectual properties. We gotta stop selling like when they sold BET. Now BET ain't BET no more.
No,
and
it's not.
It's a hot mess. I'll do business with them because they can write a check, but we don't have no say-so over there, but we have the ability to have our own network and do business with one another. And that's why I like working with you, collaborate with other artists like yourself to bring some stories together, and get them to our tribe, find our tribe, and we'll be eating every day.
That's it. That's literally it. I think that is the American dream is cutting out the middleman and being able to just create and greenlight your own projects. Like, I think that's the ultimate goal and what we're trying to do. I mean, I don't like, because honestly, we're all, people say, oh, well, those actors that are so even the famous people, like, they're also being controlled to some certain degree because the umbrella of Hollywood, it trickles down to everybody else. It's everybody's kind of like a puppet. It's like kind of like that the Wizard of Oz concept of when they go to find the wizard and it's this guy behind the and this like
right,
room.
right.
It's like, oh, this is the guy that was moving all these
right. Yeah, exactly. That's it. And we, like you said, we can control our own narrative.
Yeah.
I greenlight my own projects. Awesome. That's why I shoot on a very low budget.
That's great.
Roger Corman,
yes,
is one of my guys that I follow. Him and Robert Rodriguez.
Yes.
And he made 100 movies outside of Hollywood, actually 400 movies, and never lost a dime. Non-union, making a killing. And all the top directors came up from under him, from Scorsese to Coppola to John Sayles to Brian De Palma to George Lucas. Ron Howard. A plethora of top Hollywood directors came up under his tutelage. Me finding that out, I said, if he can do this on the scale he was on, I read his book, I just can do it on my small scale.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer. My mama tried to get rid of me 3 times. I had a speech impediment. I was short up until I grew in the 9th grade to my present human being height. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I fought all my life. To get to where I'm at. So if I can endure that training, because it was a training program, and still be positive, still seek to help other people, not be a man of no integrity, you know what I mean? And say what I mean what I say. I can't sell a few streaming services. I can't sell a few CDs or DVDs out my car or off my website. Shame on me.
Yeah, absolutely right. That's real. That's real. You named some really interesting directors there. Who's someone that inspires you as a director?
Woo! It's a list of them. First of all, I gotta give props to Spike Lee, because he's the godfather of modern cinema. Him and Robert Townsend, Bill Duke, Mario Van Peebles. Then Melvin Van Peebles, because he was probably the first one in the 70s to make his movie. He made Sweet Sweet Badass Song, and he did 10 million at the box office. So genius on how he did it, But then we go back to the first Black filmmaker, was Oscar Michel,
yep.
Who we wouldn't even be talking about film if it wasn't for him. And he endured a whole bunch of shit. You understand? Like what he endured, oh my God. And he did it with grace. And he did 44 movies from silent to sound from the 1900s up until the 1940s.
Isn't that something?
44. And self-distribute them, going around to town, renting a theater or churches, because we can't go see films with those people back in the day.
Right.
And we go to the hood. He was the original social media person.
Yeah.
He was original crowdfunder.
Yeah.
He was the Black B.T. Barnum. You know what I mean? And he got it done. He discovered Lena Horne. He had Ethel Waters. Stephen Fetch used to finance his movies for him. And the great Paul Robeson. So we have to give homage to where it all began. I'm reading this book right now about him. And then right now, then I get off into, I love Scorsese. I love Tarantino. I love Michael Mann. I love Robert Rodriguez. We're talking about Kurosawa from Japan, who did The Samurai and Blood of Throne. I like, oh my God, even what's my man that won those Oscars? Did The Revenant, Alfonso Cuarón, and Guillermo del Toro.
He's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's a litany of them. And James Cameron, you can't, and then you just deal with somebody who does it on a smaller scale, I mean, it's just a whole lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot to go down the list. It's a lot. It's a bunch of people. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. What are you watching right now on TV?
I just got done watching this Kanye documentary.
Oh yeah, everyone's telling me about it.
Look, I watched it was so good I watched it twice.
Wow.
Because what it showed me is a man who believed in himself when no one else did. And he had a mother that was an angel, period. I see why he lost his mind after his mama got, passed away. And I'm just taken back by that. And I'm telling everybody they need to watch it because now you'll understand what greatness looked like in the beginning with total confidence in self and going against the odds. Wow. And he kept going and getting rejected and getting played. And now you can see why he is who he is right now.
God.
And then, there's a movie I just saw recently. Nightmare Alley. Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, yes.
That was a good movie.
Yes.
It was a real good movie and a great story. And Bradley Cooper, he did his thing in it. And another one I saw, which is called Being the Ricardos.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Paul and Desi Arnaz Jr. Amazing.
Nicole Kidman killed.
She murdered that role.
I was like,
role.
Wow.
It's gonna be between her and Gaga. But,
yeah, it was a great performance. I enjoyed it.
I won't be disappointed either one, but I don't see nobody coming in.
No.
I don't see nobody. She was everything in that movie.
Yeah.
Everything in that movie.
I'm a really big fan of Nicole. I think she's just she hasn't had an Oscar yet, I don't think, but she picks.
She doesn't have an Oscar.
No, not yet.
Really?
I thought she would have had an Oscar.
I thought she had an Oscar.
No Oscar.
Wow, she should get one.
I'm sure she will. I think they're gonna give it to her. It's about time.
She put her foot in that role right there.
Oh yeah.
When I found out Aaron Sorkin directed it, he's another amazing dude. And I love Soderbergh too.
Oh yeah. Soderbergh's great.
Soderbergh, top shelf.
Oh yeah, he can shoot on phone.
Listen to this. Book me for your role, man. I can give you a low budget Don Cheadle without the price.
I mean, the guy can do movies on like phones and shows on phones, and you're just like, how in the world is this man? And he just does it he does it well. He does great stuff.
You know what it is he has a passion.
Yeah.
And when you have a passion, you be innovative. It ain't like he got to go out and work. He got enough money. He could do what he want to do, but he has a passion for it. And he finding innovative ways to make a movie. And when he did A High Flying Bird on the iPhone, I just did this horror movie on my iPhone and I shot it in a day, all one takes.
Oh, nice. Cool.
On purpose. I got to get it edited. I was talking to you about that the other day.
Yeah.
So I got to get that edited. But, when you see stuff like that, it's inspiring, And I tell every filmmaker listening, if you got a camera on your iPhone or whatever, shoot something.
Yeah.
Something. You ain't got to put no money up. Shoot, get practice,
Mm-hmm.
Because I got a guy right now, he called me up. He's like, Derrick, man, I got this great script. I need $3 million. I need $3 million, man, as the budget. I said, fool, I need $3 million. I damn sure wouldn't put in no damn movie. Hell no. Give me $1 million. You give me 500,000, I might make 10 movies with that damn.
Right,
movie.
exactly.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna get you $5 million back.
Right.
Anybody listening out there, give me $500,000, you get $5 million back.
There you go. Hey, that's it. What advice would you give to somebody that wants to get into the industry or do what you're doing? What advice would that look like? What it look like?
Study, and find out a way to do it. Start small. Collaborate. I know a lot of guys like, oh man, I got to go hook up with Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry ain't checking for you. Hell, I ain't even checking for you. I ain't nowhere near Tyler Perry. You feel me? So what I'm saying is, if you want to do it, do it. You find out what your passion is about when it's time to do some stuff. See, I got people I started doing comedy with, and they seen I had a drive, and now they want to get down. But they paid enough dues for me. I like the actors I was in LA in those workshops. They forgo having relationships, having babies, eating ramen noodles daily, working a job they hate, trying to get on. I love that kind of commitment.
Right.
I owe it to myself to help those kind of people out because they paid a price. They're paying a price. As opposed to somebody working a good job and like, man, you know what? I think I could play that role, man. You probably can play that role, but I ain't giving you that goddamn role because you ain't paid no dues.
Right.
I'm only dealing with people that pay the dues.
Yeah.
Like, I have a saying in business. I want to find out who I'm in business with. How can you act when you ain't had nothing? You know a lot by a man. I love Boardwalk Empire.
Great one.
And my man, what's his name? The lead guy. Oh, the lead. Why is it escaping me right now? Steve Buscemi plays him.
Yeah.
It's not whatever the lead character. Yeah. He says, I only want to do business with a man who has lost something. What kind of man are you? He asked Meyer Lansky this. What kind of man are you? Have you ever lost something? Have you ever been hungry? You know what I mean? What did you do to get up off your knuckles, man? You know, that's the kind of people I like to deal with. And that's why I like you, Meosha, because you about it, girl.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's the trenches. You got to love what you do, and that's it. You got to be married to the game, honestly. That's what it's about.
You got to be married to the game. And, you know, the thing is, like, at least give it a good college try. It might not work out for you, but at least you can go to your grave and say, I tried that shit.
Absolutely.
You know, I'll say, when my little first movie, if I had never done nothing else, I made one. You know what I mean? I made one. Not knowing what the hell I was doing. I made one, you know, and now we in the process of making more. Like I'm getting ready, I'm directing a reality show, Queens of BBW down in Orlando. That fell in my lap, so we're cleaning it up. Then I'm doing a pilot in New Jersey called Lucky, which I was blessed to be the lead character and direct the first episode. I wrote the screenplay to the first episode, and we're shooting that in Newark, New Jersey, March, first weekend in March. Then I just booked a role with this brilliant filmmaker out of Atlanta named Man Robinson, who has Man Robinson Studios, and he got a movie right now on Amazon Prime, 2 of them. One called Turnt, which he shot over 9 months, and then he got Super Turnt, the follow-up.
I love it.
And the lead character is the guy that played Biggie Smalls in Notorious.
Okay. Yes.
And you got Torrey Hart, Kevin Hart's ex-wife is in it. And, you know, he's like that next thing. He like that next street dude coming like John Singleton, something like that, like the Hughes brothers. He the truth. So I was blessed. I did a monologue on Chiwetel when Chiwetel Ejiofor was in Four Brothers. He played Victor Sweet.
Yes.
The restaurant scene when he came in, Out of Town Shooters. And I did that monologue and I put it up on my IG page. And I tagged all the casting directors and all the directors. I'm just gonna front it.
Yeah.
He back. He's like, fire. He said, come audition for me when you get back in town.
Hey, I love it. That's awesome.
I got off the plane from Orlando, coming back from directing those reality shows. I flew in, ran some errands, went to the studio, I auditioned. I thought he had some paperwork. He's like, nah, give me a cold read. What you gotta do? You got a monologue? I said, I'm doing the damn monologue that you just saw. So I did it after laugh. He said, man, that's a little comedy. And it kind of pissed me off. I said, oh, hold on, give me a second. I bit down on my knuckle, stirred up some anger, and I roared on the ass.
Yeah.
And he said, stop, you booked.
I love it.
I don't know what role you got. I'm gonna send you a role. So he just sent it to me the other day, and I'm getting ready to, you know, mess around with it. And
congratulations.
He'd be ready to shoot that. I'll get back from New Jersey next month.
I love it. Fantastic. Congratulations on all that. That's fantastic. I love that.
And before this, let me tell you, I got another project I'm writing right now called The Sheriff. It's about a black sheriff in a Georgia small town. He used to be an FBI profiler, and he got bodies coming back of a case he solved 10 years ago. So you don't know if he put the wrong guy away or it's a copycat.
Oh.
So I want to talk to you. Maybe you could come on set and work with me on that.
Heck yeah, I'd love to. I'd be honored, man.
Right.
That's awesome. So you got some really good some things cooking. I love it.
Look, I had COVID during the holiday, and I laid up in there, and I had what I call the 24-hour confession headache. Oh. And that's a headache so severe where you confess to any crime that you did not commit. That's how. Only comfort I had was the pain that let me know I was still alive. It was horrible.
Oh,
but I only lasted 24 hours, and after that, I just had body aches. So I'm immune for another 2 years.
Hey, God is good. I'm glad you're good though.
I hit the ground running. Once it hit 112022, I hit the ground running. We ain't stopped. So we've been busy.
I love that. I love that. Where can people find you on social media so they can follow you and see what you're up to and get in touch with you?
Okay, you can follow me on Instagram at Derrick M Derrick I'm Derrick Muhammad, Derrick M. And then you can find me on Facebook at Derrick Muhammad. I'm the handsome guy with the beard, the black suit, the white shirt. And then my website is DerrickMMuhammad.com. Derrick DerrickM, and then it's another MUHAMMAD.com. And that's where you get my book I wrote called Guerrilla Film Grind, How to Make a Movie for Little or Nothing, my shameless plug. And I'm proud of this book, and I'm going to sell 1 million copies.
That's it.
Word.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on. You're amazing. I can't wait to see all the stuff that you're doing. I can't wait to connect and we work together. Some really good stuff's coming.
Before you go, I'm going to get killed if I don't say this. We're getting ready to bring Gale on the Storm back, my first feature film. I just got it back from the distributor.
Hey.
It was Tubi TV and Amazon and all that. So we just got to deal with them. We're getting ready to go with a new distributor. So Gale on the Storm is going to be coming back out. So stay tuned to that. And I'm excited about that.
Congratulations. Hey, that's what I love. I love to hear that. Well, more success to you. Thank you so much for coming on. You're amazing. I appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you for having me. And you a star, Meosha. You a star. And I'm glad to know you.
Oh, ditto. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, that was a fantastic episode. And please always remember to live, love, laugh. All right, guys. We'll see you guys again. Bye.